this is really a great turnout once again. I really appreciate the support that you show the Pasadena Police Department, all of you, and it's really nice, especially the council members that are here and the department directors. Let me just go ahead and acknowledge them up front. We have Council Member Darrell Morrison, we have Council Member Carrie Bass, and Council Member Jeff Wagner. Thank you so much for coming here, gentlemen, and honoring our award recipients with your presence. We also have, a great working relationship here between our department and the other city departments, and as represented by the many department directors that are here. We have Kirby Cardenas of Parks. He's the Director of Parks. Kathy Perez is here. I saw her. She's the Director of Health. Andy Helms, he's our Chief Financial Officer, the Director of Budget and Finance, and then we have Richard Scott, who is our Public Information Guru, Public Information Office. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming as well, and Kathy, you too. This is, as things go, as far as my responsibilities as chief, this is one of the most pleasant things that I get to do. I get to do promotions, I get to do award ceremonies, and fortunately I have a department that there is work that's done frequently that we're able to acknowledge. The purpose of a police department is to enforce the law, control crime, and try to make sure that we keep order in the community and to provide professional police services, all in the interest of trying to improve the quality of life. And I will tell you that as a department, I'm very proud of our men and women and the job that they do day in and day out, and then the civilians that work in this department who go above and beyond and try to make sure that the citizens' needs are taken care of day in and day out. Across the nation, men and women come to policing in order to help people and try to make a difference. And you always have those, though, despite we've got a great reputation, we have great work ethic here in the Pasadena Police Department, but you always have those that manage to do just a little bit more and outshine the others. And it's great that we take the time to go ahead and acknowledge their contributions to keeping the public safe. George Patton was known as saying, always do more than is required, and again, we have many people who do just that, and what you're going to hear some stories today about those who did more than was required and went that extra step. And we have a reputation as a police department for going that extra mile. And we're here to talk about a couple of those today, and to honor these two individuals for their excellent service and to call attention to those good deeds. And I know we do not capture nearly all of them. There's a great many times that good work is done and unfortunately goes unacknowledged. And the reason it goes unacknowledged is because the people that work here in the Pasadena Police Department, I know they're very humble. They don't like to have their attention called to them, but I think it's important that we say thank you and call attention to the good work being done, not only to thank them for their service, but also so the citizens of Pasadena, and Channel 16 being here, the citizens of Pasadena can know something more about what goes on in the Pasadena Police Department and what happens here and the quality of the men and women who serve them. So with that said, we're going to get on with the award ceremony. I'm going to read a short bio of the award recipients, and then after that, the assistant chief for each of our officers is going to read the acknowledgement letter, and then we're going to award the plaque together to our officer. So April, would you join me for a moment? Officer April Ontiveros graduated from Galena Park High School in 1991. April worked various jobs and quickly realized she wanted to become a police officer. April attended St. Student College and received an associate's degree in criminal justice, and in January of 2002, April hired on with the department as a police service officer. In October of 2002, April was selected for the 53rd Basic Police Academy. Upon graduation, April worked evening shift patrol, where she served as a field training officer and a bicycle officer. Officer Ontiveros was also a member of the crash reconstruction team. In September of 2010, April was selected to join the juvenile division, where she worked numerous cases involving children. In December of 2012, April was reassigned to the sex offender registration unit, where she investigated and registered sex offenders. I'm sure you can tell stories about that. In September of 2014, April was selected to join the academy, where she currently assists in training department personnel and cadets. April is married and has 2 children. And the presentation will be read by Assistant Chief Mike Jackson. April, come over here, please.
In September of 2014, Officer April Ontiveros was assigned to the Personnel and Training Division. During the same month, the Texas Commission on Law Enforcement established minimum training standards for initial licensings of all telecommunications personnel. She was subsequently assigned with creating the curriculum for a Police Service Officer Academy by Sergeant Hughes. It should be noted that this assignment was particularly challenging in that it needed to meet the newly established licensing requirements as well as the training needs for police service officers assigned to work the jail. The previous student success rate for passing the license exam across the state was 50 to 60 percentile range. After being tasked with this assignment, Officer Ontiveros took the initiative and found training to assist her, and over the next few months, she compiled a curriculum. In February of 2015, Officer Ontiveros served as class liaison for the curriculum, thereby teaching most of the subject matter herself to the police service officers. As a result of her hard work and diligence, the first Police Service Officer Academy proved to be a great success when all the students passed the state licensing exam on their first attempt. On September 9th of 2015, Sergeant Hughes learned that Officer Ontiveros' curriculum was the first of its kind in the state of Texas. The North Central Texas Council of Governments 911 Emergency Number Program, generally considered to be the front runner in all telecommunications training, was in the final stages of completing their curriculum, which is essentially identical to Officer Ontiveros'. While this is just one example of the exceptional work Officer Ontiveros is responsible for, her enthusiasm, attention to detail, and dedication to duty are an example for us all. I wish to commend and congratulate Officer Ontiveros for being the recipient of the Pasadena Police Department's Outstanding Performance Award.
Thank you.
Okay, you got it, Tasha?
Okay.
Okay. You would like to say something?
Thank you.
Okay. Congratulations. Okay, you know, they'll face guns. They don't like facing crowds or a microphone, so. But April, thank you very much. Let me make a comment, though, too, about April. That's indicative of, okay, here we are. In the grand scheme of things, I think we're the 17th or 18th largest police department in the state of Texas. Yet, examples like what April's done, we're a leader in the Pasadena Police Department in many ways, and April, thank you for being a leader with establishing that curriculum to make Texas a better place and law enforcement in Texas better. It's a great job. Thank you. Okay, Officer Samuel Wilson, would you please join me? Officer Samuel Wilson has not been with us very long, but he's an overachiever, and we're going to be acknowledging him for two separate events today. And his notations will be read by Assistant Chief Josh Bruger. Oh, there he is. Okay, good. I was looking for him. Let me read you his bio real quickly. Officer Samuel Wilson was born in Houston, Texas in 1987 and raised in League City. He graduated from Clear Creek High School in 2005 and joined the United States Air Force the same year. Officer Wilson served 8 years in the military, including a tour in Iraq, where he advanced to the rank of Staff Sergeant. After completion of his military service, Officer Wilson entered the Police Academy, Pasadena Police Academy, where he graduated at the top of his class from the 68th Police Academy in February of 2015. So if you do the math, he hadn't been here even a year yet. Since graduation and completion of the field training process, Officer Wilson has served on day shift patrol, where he is currently assigned to the city's North District. And again, his award, his notation, will be read by Chief Josh Bruger. Officer Wilson.
I want to start first by telling you that actually one of your peers was in my office this morning. He was very complimentary of you, and I think that says a lot about you, that when your peers are, coming up that high and telling me what a great job you're doing. So,
Yes, sir.
in September of 2014, reading April's again. Information was forwarded to the Awards Committee by Detective Chris Wilkerson in regard to Officer Samuel Wilson's actions while conducting a trash dumping call for service. On November 30th, 2015, while working patrol, Officer Wilson was dispatched to a trash dumping call. Upon his arrival, there were no suspects in the area, but he located trash which was estimated at weighing over 600 pounds. Officer Wilson then sorted through the trash and recovered the name, which led to additional information in the case and a possible source of the trash. Officer Wilson then located the source of the trash and contacted two men who confessed to the crime. During this contact, he noticed that one of the suspects appeared deceptive. After investigating the matter further, it was discovered that the deceptive suspect provided false identity. Officer Wilson then coordinated with an investigator and discovered that this suspect was a wanted felon and a registered sex offender who had previously shown on more than one occasion that he had no intention of complying with the law or his duties to register as a sex offender. Officer Wilson, your attention to detail led to the arrest of a dangerous felon who otherwise might still be at large. On behalf of myself and my staff, I wish to commend you and congratulate you for being the recipient of the Pasadena Police Department's Outstanding Performance Award. Congratulations. That's part one. The second case, information was forwarded to the Awards Committee by Sergeant Craig Hamilton and Mr. Ralph Baird of Texas EquiSearch in regard to actions of Officer Samuel Wilson after locating individuals suffering a mental health crisis. On September 13, 2015, while working patrol, Officer Wilson observed a disoriented male. He attempted to make contact with the male, but he was unable to communicate with Officer Wilson. Based on the actions, Officer Wilson believed the male suffered from a mental disability. The male had no form of identification, was unable to be identified by his fingerprints. The combined circumstances of this contact resulted in the male being admitted to Bayshore Hospital for medical evaluation and treatment. On September 20th, a week later, Officer Wilson discovered a newspaper article regarding a missing man who had a similar description as the male that had been admitted to Bayshore. Officer Wilson positively identified the male in the article as a person he helped, which ultimately led to him being reunited with his family. Officer Wilson, your actions allowed you to reunite a disabled person with his family after he was missing for an extended period of time. On behalf of myself and my staff, I wish to commend you and congratulate you for being the recipient of the Pasadena Police Department's Outstanding Performance Award.
I don't like to talk in public, but I do want to thank everyone that put me in for these awards, because, I mean, not everyone, you don't have to do that for everybody. And also everyone on day shift, all the older officers that helped me out, getting a lot of experience from them. Thank you.
I think you see an example of the humility we're talking about. They want to defer to everybody else and their peers, but we have a great team here, and they do great work. And, you know, digging through 600 pounds of trash to get to the point that you're going to take care of this problem. And that's an example of our officers caring about our city and doing what needs to be done, going the extra mile. And then when the call's done and it's still bothering you, days later you're looking and trying to find out information, and you get the information to help that guy get back with his family. So again, I want the citizens of Pasadena to know that the folks that we have here go that extra mile on a consistent basis. I'm proud of both of you, and I'm proud of all of our members of our department. And thank you again for coming. I hope that you take the time to speak with and congratulate our two recipients today. And thank you so much for honoring us with your presence and for being there to support them. And to the family members, you have every right to be very proud of your loved ones here. They made me proud. They should certainly have made you proud as well. Thank you again for coming. Please stay and have some refreshments. This concludes our ceremony.